Imagine living in the year 1600, and someone tells you about a distant land, mostly unknown to the world, inhabited by scattered tribes. A land that, within just 400 years, would become the most powerful nation in history, controlling the world economically, militarily, and politically. You'd think they were crazy, right? But that's exactly what happened. In this video, I will tell you the full story: America's rise from a group of colonies to the world's leading superpower. This is not just a series of historical events, it's a story of wars, ambition, intelligence, and global domination. Before we begin, hit the like button and subscribe to the channel because this video will take you on a journey like never before. Now, let's begin the story. In 1492, explorer Christopher Columbus set sail across the Atlantic, searching for a new route to India. But instead of finding spices and silk, he stumbled upon an entirely new continent. He believed he had reached India, but in reality, he had discovered the New World, what we now call America. But Columbus wasn't the only one who saw this land as an opportunity. Soon, the great European empires began competing for control. The Spanish arrived first, seizing vast territories in South and North America, extracting gold and spreading their influence. The French followed, establishing colonies in Canada and along the Mississippi River. But it was the British who had the most ambitious plans, founding the 13 colonies on the east coast of North America, the foundation of what would later become the United States. However, this land was not empty. Millions of Native Americans had lived here for thousands of years, and when Europeans arrived, it triggered one of history's most violent conflicts. Over time, British colonies thrived, attracting European immigrants searching for a new life. But expansion led to bitter wars with Native Americans, who resisted the European invasion. One of the most devastating was King Philip's War, which destroyed many settlements and resulted in brutal massacres on both sides. However, with superior weapons and diseases that Native Americans had no immunity to, the Europeans eventually took control, forcing Native populations into small, isolated reservations. By the 18th century, the American colonies were growing stronger, but there was a big problem. Britain imposed heavy taxes on the colonies without giving them any representation in the government. This led to rising anger and protests, the most famous being the Boston Tea Party, where American colonists dumped British tea into the sea as an act of defiance. Britain responded with force, and by 1775, war broke out. Despite being outmatched, the colonists, led by George Washington, managed to win, thanks in part to help from France. Finally, in 1783, America officially gained independence. After independence, the United States began expanding westward at an astonishing pace. In 1803, the U.S. bought the Louisiana Territory from France, doubling its size overnight. But this expansion wasn't peaceful. The U.S. fought wars against Native Americans in Mexico, seizing massive territories like California, Texas, and Arizona. But not everyone agreed on America's future. A deep divide between the North and the South emerged. The North was industrial and wanted to abolish slavery. The South was agricultural and depended on slave labor. In 1861, the Southern states seceded and the Civil War erupted, lasting 4 years. In the end, the North won, slavery was abolished, and America became more unified than ever. Despite the destruction, the war pushed America into a new era of industrialization and rapid progress. During World War I, America joined the fight late, but it was World War II that truly made the U.S. a superpower. When Japan attacked Pearl Harbor in 1941, America entered the war with full force, producing weapons on an unprecedented scale. By the end of the war, the U.S. had developed the world's first nuclear weapons, dropping atomic bombs on Hiroshima and Nagasaki, forcing Japan to surrender. At this point, the U.S. had the strongest military, the biggest economy, and the most advanced technology. After World War II, a new rival emerged: the Soviet Union. This led to the Cold War, a decades-long battle for global influence. The arms race: both countries built thousands of nuclear weapons. The space race: the U.S. landed on the moon in 1969, proving its technological superiority. Proxy wars: America and the Soviet Union fought indirect wars across the world: Vietnam, Korea, Afghanistan. But in 1991, the Soviet Union collapsed, leaving the U.S. as the only superpower on Earth. Today, the US dominates the world politically, economically, and militarily. But new challenges have emerged. China is rising rapidly, becoming a global economic powerhouse. Russia is trying to reclaim influence. The world is changing in ways no one predicted decades ago. Will America remain the most powerful country, or will a new superpower rise? Let me know your thoughts in the comments. Don't forget to like this video and subscribe to the channel.